Welcome back to another video about how to heal adoption and narcissistic abuse. If you are new to my channel, my name is Theodora. I work as a spiritual and psychological counselor, and I am an adoptee myself. In today's video, we're gonna talk about Mother's Day. I felt like I wanted to talk a little bit about this day because I know that it's not necessarily easy to get through when you are an adopted person, and if you are dealing with a lot of unprocessed emotions about losing your biological mother, which is very normal. Just want to highlight that no matter what age we have, it's very, very normal to be still grieving the loss of our biological mother. And it's also very normal to, in general, be missing having a mother figure in your life. And this is something that I know from a lot of the people I have worked with who were raised by narcissistic adoptive parents or dysfunctional adoptive parents, that this longing for having a parent, having a mother parent in your life, it's just so huge and it's very painful, because when we never had it, we will constantly be needing it in our adult life. And navigating Mother's Day is not easy when you're adopted. I don't think it's easy at all. It's not easy for me either. I struggle a lot when it's Mother's Day. And it's painful to watch my friends celebrate their mothers. It's really, really difficult. I gotta be honest and say that. So what can we do when everyone else is celebrating their mothers and we don't have a mother to celebrate? We can only grieve over not having a mother. What can we do on this day? Like, how can we be there for ourselves? And how can we navigate being exposed to a lot of commercials about celebrating the mother you never had? You're unwillingly being exposed to that when you are watching TV, when you are going to supermarket, maybe seeing a poster on a wall, out in public. And maybe also when you talk with your friends who are saying, oh no, I can't see you that day because I'm gonna celebrate Mother's Day with my mother. And this is just a constant reminder of what you never had. And that is so difficult and that is so painful as well. It's like being reminded of the wound that you have to carry within yourself. And that is not even being recognized by society even. Not only are you being gaslit about how painful it is to be adopted, how painful it is to lose your mother, but you're also being forced to be reminded of it by this exposure of other people celebrating their mothers. Something that I always do on Mother's Day is that I really, really pay attention to myself. I really take a lot of moments to tune in with myself about how do I feel today? How do I feel on this day? Do I feel a lot of heavy emotions arising to the surface? Then I'm going to take care of that. I'm going to look into these emotions, and then I'm going to ask them, what do you guys need? And then I'm inviting them in for a cup of tea and sit with them and ask them, what do you want to tell me about this day that is difficult for you? And sometimes I write a letter as well. I really love writing letters. I think it's an amazing tool and amazing practice when we need to express something that have been suppressed for our whole life. With so many adopted people, they have experienced that the grief over their mother, the loss of their biological mother, had to be suppressed because the adoptive parents, they were not able to acknowledge this. They never knew that this was something that they should acknowledge. They never thought about, they didn't even think about, of course this is a loss. Of course you are grieving, because this adoption narrative is just so thick that it just becomes insignificant to other people, what you feel about this day, what you feel on this day, is completely irrelevant for other people, because first of all, they will never be able to understand how you survived being adopted, because it was that difficult. And second of all, they can't understand that maybe you don't want to celebrate your adoptive mother. You don't want to celebrate her on Mother's Day. Maybe you don't want that because maybe she's not worth celebrating, and that's totally okay. But it doesn't change that we wish that other people would understand it. It doesn't change that. And we can't make our friends feel bad for celebrating their mothers, because they're allowed to celebrate their mothers. So that's why it's just so many emotions that are contradicting each other. What I have found to be really helpful is actually to completely withdraw on this day, withdraw from my friends, withdraw from society, withdraw from social media, withdraw from television, and just do whatever I want on this day. Maybe I want it to just actually be a normal day. I don't want it to be something special, because it's not special for me to lose my mother. It's not special in a positive way. And I don't want to use this day either to say, oh, when everyone is celebrating their mother, I'm gonna grieve over my mother. I don't want someone to tell me that I should spend this day on doing that. I get to choose whenever I want to grieve over the loss of my mother. So on this Mother's Day, I have actually thought about that. I think I want to spend some time in nature if the weather is great. Right now it's not so great. I'm recording this on a Friday, a few days before Mother's Day. Right now it's very rainy and it's not very sunny, so I don't feel like being outside. But if it's gonna change, I definitely want to be outside. I want to be recharged by nature, because this is something that makes me happy and that makes me feel good about myself. And then I think I'm going to cook some really lovely food, maybe my favorite Thai food, and maybe watch a movie with myself, or maybe call a friend and talk with her all night. I mean, I think you get to do whatever you want on this day, and there's no need to put yourself in a position where you're being unwillingly exposed to all of these commercials about this, because what good does it do for you, right? And people don't have to understand if you choose to withdraw on this day. People don't need to understand it. And maybe that's why you also need to withdraw, so that they can't ask you these silly questions about, oh, don't you think you are over-exaggerating? Or like, why don't you just get your shit together and move on? But it's not that simple, isn't it? It's not that simple. Maybe you also find that you want to connect with your biological mother. Maybe you want to do that through like visualization. I have a very great exercise in the book that I just published about how to navigate adulthood as an adopted person. And there are a lot of great exercises that I think are very relevant when talking about celebrating Mother's Day or not celebrating Mother's Day. And there's actually also a specific exercise for Mother's Day, because I know it's a huge thing and I know it's difficult and it's not necessarily very fun. And also when you look at all the flower shops and they're like showing off all these amazing bouquets that all these mothers are going to receive, maybe you should buy a bouquet of flowers for yourself. I remember I did that one year. I bought a bouquet of flowers and I gave it to myself. And I saw it as an exercise of receiving something that would make me happy. And it's a way of celebrating me as a woman. I don't have children yet, but it was a way of celebrating me as a woman, celebrating my motherhood, celebrating when I am being a very caring and loving mother towards myself, because I use that very much in my own healing practice of healing my adoption trauma. And so this was a way for me of celebrating the mother that I can show up and be towards myself. No matter what, my point is, explore what it is that will make this day amazing for you. Or maybe it doesn't need to be amazing. Maybe it just needs to be a normal day that's not different from any other day. You get to explore that. But it's important that you take some time to explore it, and that you don't just deny all the emotions that might be knocking on your door. Because the more you refuse to answer, the harder they will knock, and then they will become, and then they will dictate how this day is going to be for you. So I hope that you will find the courage, you will find the strength that I know you have to explore what you need on this day. That's all I have for you now. I am sending you all my love. I'm sending you all my support on this day, because I know it's difficult. You can get a copy of my new book. I'm going to put a link in the description box, and then you can also use the tools that are in that book as well. I wish you all the best on this day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.